pastors, dedicated ones who have endeavoured to imitate Jesus, to follow his example in different areas of their service. First of all, we'll come to Brother Don Johns. So Don, you are retired now and you're a regular pioneer, but this wasn't always the case. Can you tell us how your ministry was not too long ago?
Well, I worked in my secular job for almost 40 years and I really loved that job, and as a result my spirituality was secondary, so my field service was only minimal. My meeting attendance sometimes took second place to work, and our family study at home was normally in Sister Jan's hands because I was at work.
So what was it that turned this around?
Well, after I retired, I felt that I had to re-strengthen my relationship with Jehovah, so I had to supplicate him in prayer. I started a program of reading the Bible on a regular basis and meditating on Scripture. I made sure I was always at the meetings and always marked up, and always had a part in the meeting if I was able to. I rejoined the ministry school after many, many years, and I spoke to the pioneers at Mount Barker about if I could have assistance to increase my hours, so with the eventual idea of being a full-time minister.
How has your increase in zeal now increased your happiness?
Well, on many levels, but as we know, the harvest is great and the workers are few, so it's so fantastic that I can be out in the field all the time, because we know that's what Jehovah wants. We're in the last days, it's the last days, so it's urgent, and it's just so satisfying to know that I'm pleasing Jehovah. Sister Jan, as you know, she's got some sickness and she's suffering a bit, but it's almost like she's a part of my pioneering, because she has a lot of input into it and she helps me out a lot. And the third and final thing is the Pioneer School. I was there a couple of weeks ago, intensive study, enjoying about 30 odd of us in a spiritual sort of a sanctuary, and we just learned so much. It was fantastic, and just how to expand our ministry and other forms of ministry, and also just how to be more sort of effective in our ministry as well, Vince.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Brother Johns. So now we look forward to Brother Nahum and Sister Chelsea McLaren, and you've simplified your life in order to do more. So what made you decide to simplify your life?
So once we were married and I had finished my apprenticeship, I really had a focus on setting up our family materially so we could serve Jehovah in a more easier condition. But to do this, it took time away from service. So though I was serving Jehovah, it was only with the time that I had left over. So I knew I had to change things up. So I set the goal of pioneering with my wife, and to do this, we had to less complicate our life.
Yes. So can you tell us what you did to achieve your goal, maybe Chelsea?
Well, it took a lot of discussion, firstly with Jehovah, each other, and some close friends who are strong spiritually who took the same step in simplifying. So with that in mind, we looked at our circumstances and realised we had to cut back on our expenses. So we sold our car and moved into a caravan.
Yes.
I also had to start looking for part-time work.
As an electrician, was that easy?
It's very hard.
So was it an easy thing to do, to simplify, maybe Chelsea? Or was that Neil?
Well,
you both live in the same house.
I'll speak on Chelsea's behalf. Well, no, because I felt like I was relying on myself and my abilities to do it. Like you said, finding full part-time work in the construction industry is very hard, especially being young. Your employer expects a lot out of you. Quite often, 46 hours a week is the norm. But also, we didn't have any money behind us as well, so there wasn't any a backup option there. So it took me a while. I was very nervous and anxious about approaching my employer, but through the reassurance from some close friends, and also Matthew 6:33 helped me as well, Vince, in relying on Jehovah. And once I stopped relying on myself and my own abilities and relying on Jehovah, simplifying our life was really easy. I can look back now and see Jehovah's hand in simplifying our life.
Yes. And finally, what have you got back from Jehovah? Chelsea?
There's been many blessings, especially having Nahum in the ministry with me more often, where our relationship with Jehovah has grown stronger as well as with each other, and being able to spend time on studies with Nahum, it's really drawn us closer together into Jehovah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm less stressed and anxious, and also I enjoyed the Pioneer School with Brother Don and yourself. And it was really encouraging to sit down and really look at how to imitate Jesus as a teacher, and it's really put a new enthusiasm to my own ministry.
Excellent. Finally, we'll speak to Brother Bradley Jackson as a mature youth. Getting more and more mature every day. So as a mature youth, you have faced temptations at school and by your peers. Can you tell us one of the strong temptations that you have faced?
So at high school, I was very involved in the music program, mainly playing guitar and saxophone. I really loved playing for people. But after one particular practical assessment, I was approached by a uni student who was a former student at the school I was at, and he was a drummer. And he said to me that he would really like to invite me to play as the guitarist in his band.
How exciting. So how did you feel about the opportunities before you?
So that really hit me in the face, really like, wow, like what an opportunity. And I couldn't help but think where it could take me, who I could meet, what opportunities I would have.
What enabled you to make a wise decision and thwart Satan's efforts to tempt you in this?
So firstly, I felt that being in a worldly band, it would have been virtually impossible to maintain my spirituality at the same time. And I went home, so I said to him I'd think about it, and I went home and spoke to my parents about it. And at that time, 1 Corinthians 15:33 really came into play, where it says, "Do not be misled, bad association spoils useful habits." So my parents were able to help me to make a decision as to what I would do, and that was to not let Satan mislead me in what I really enjoyed doing. But looking back now, I'm glad I stuck with Jehovah, because now I get to reap the rewards.
Excellent. And do you still enjoy music?
Absolutely, yep. Ever since I've made the decision, the Society has been writing new catchy songs in the videos that I'm able to learn and play with my brothers and sisters forever.
Excellent. And certainly you have God's word's given you wisdom beyond your years, so we appreciate your comments on that one, Bradley. Thank you very much, brothers.